Jackson Dart is the future of the franchise. I think it's solidified. What he's doing with what he has at his disposal is incredible. Other players recognize it. The dudes on the Broncos that were talking mad shit to him after the game, like, hey, man, he a baller, bro. Kyle Shanahan said it. Robert Saleh, like, they see it. People see it, right? I think the rest of the year, despite this firing, he should not be on the field again. Don't do it. We're good, bro. We saw what you could do. We love it. Let's shut him down. For what, bro? Didn't I tell you when they lost that game to the Broncos? They're not winning another game this year. I did a parlay on the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon. And I know it got there at the end because Dart got hurt. But I'm betting on the Ravens every week, parlayed with whoever the Giants are playing. And it was plus 125 in week 10. Because that's the kind of loss where you're just going to spiral. Your schedule is already tough. They're a way better team than 2-8 or 2-7, but because of circumstances and how they lost, it's like, yo, bro, it's a wrap.
It is.
They've lost all 4 games on the road in which they had a 10-point lead at some point in the game. And three of the 4 were in the second half where they ended up losing these games. One of them being the Saints game, which, fuck, that loss looks even worse now. But then who are the Giants to say that loss is bad when they're in the same situation, kind of like the Saints? I know I'm being long-winded, but
no, this is your moment. This is your team. This is your franchise. Like I said, big day. Big day for the Giants.
It tells me that they understand that Dart is the future. They don't want to jeopardize him and have him have another concussion, 3 concussions that we know of this year. Like, nah, bro, shut him down. Like I said, he's had 3, really. The preseason one and then the 2 this year. I don't need to see any more, bro. You're the answer. 27 design runs since week 4. For what, bro? For what?
Because that's how you are going to utilize him in his career. He's too good not to use him that way. And I think that a year growing, honestly, embracing the creatine Caucasians, you need some more creatine. You see this with NFL quarterbacks that run. The first year, they're weak. They look frail. They get smoked constantly. And then they hit the gym in the offseason.
The best example is Drake May. Drake May, carbon copy last year. He was getting smoked. He left a couple games. Hell, I even think this year, even against Tampa Bay, I think he got dinged up.
Yeah.
And they were like, smelling salt. How many fingers? 3? No. 2. 2. Okay, yeah, you're good. We went 1970s NFL. Fuck CTE. That's what the Patriots look like, right? So that's what whoever comes in should tell Jackson Dart, like, hey, man, look at what Drake May did last year as opposed to this year. I want to push back. I think, yes, Dart, that's how you got to utilize him, running. However, when you're 2-7, I'm good, bro. I don't want you to be put into danger.
Yeah.
If the 27 design runs were from the 2-yard line, I'm cool there. But we're talking about 2nd and 8. And 3rd and 12s on a team that's going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Nah, context is everything. If you're 9-0 and you're doing design runs, I'm cool with it. Way different. Context is everything in everything. So getting rid of Daboll, it was only a matter of time. Honestly, it was kind of weird that he even kept his job all these years because he started off hot and then he was doing the same shit with Josh Allen running him around. Daniel Jones was getting popped all the time. Now with Dart, the franchise is like, yo, bro, we can't have this. We got to protect our biggest asset. The Giants finally are going to be in that window, that 3 to 4 year window right now after this season where, yo, you could go and get a big name wide receiver. Go overpay for a cornerback, another edge rusher, because you're not going to pay the quarterback yet. Dart's going to get $70 million a year at some point.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
What would your ideal coach be and look like? I can list off a couple of names, but ideally, let's just talk the archetype. Do you want offensive-minded? Do you want defensive-minded? Do you want young? Do you want old? What should the next New York Giants head coach look like?
Can I give you one that I think might be kind of, I'm gonna give you two. I want young offensive mind.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Like I always want.
This is what you got to do these days.
Yeah.
This is the modern day fuck defense, right?
Well, I want all my young quarterbacks to have an offensive mind. I've said this since I started Veterans Minimum 10 years ago. My take has always been now Pat Mahomes 10 years into the league, or how many years he's been in. All right, bro. Bill Belichick wants to come out of college and take over for Andy Reid in a hypothetical. Yeah, he's experienced enough. But young, you think Mahomes has the same success if he doesn't walk in with Andy Reid?
No.
And he has fucking Rex Ryan? I think it's a different career.
Correct.
So I want a young offensive mind. I would like Joe Brady, offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills. I like it. We got good ties with the Bills. Schoen came over. Then you had Brian Daboll. I like it. Another name I could see happening. What do you think of Kyle Shanahan?
I love it, but he seems untouchable.
I'm just saying.
He seems untouchable. Okay.
For sure. But like he's not overstayed his welcome, but like I'm just thinking of a guy who, man, it's ran its course kind of. We've maybe hit our ceiling. Maybe we need a new voice.
Yeah, I think you're fantasy booking.
I'm definitely fantasy booking.
Bro, that would be out of the frying pan straight into the fryer.
Yeah.
My issues with the 49ers are terrible. Let me go to the fucking Giants. College coach, would you be happy or sad? Would you be like, what the fuck are we doing? Because there's a lot of youthful energy that you're going to see a lot of these college coaches vying for those positions. Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. People are saying that he's already signed another contract with Notre Dame, but contracts are meant to be broken sometimes, especially when the New York Giants are calling. I think Marcus Freeman would piss you the fuck off. You'd be more pissed off with Marcus Freeman than you would Brian Daboll.
I don't know too much about him. You know, I don't follow college like that. So there's no like.
For sure.
Like, remember Chip Kelly was like this crazy innovator of offense, right? And then Matt Rule, even to a certain extent, was like, yo, the next, he turned Baylor into something. And then you're like, what the fuck, Baylor? Would they? And then he goes into the NFL, right? So, like, I don't know enough about the college game. I would have to name someone that once coached in the NFL to, like, come back. Like a Bill Belichick, right? He got ties to the New York Giants. But I don't know. I feel like he might be outdated.
Bobby Petrino, Arkansas. Current interim Arkansas coach, used to coach in the NFL.
The popular
offensive-minded, old though.
The popular name has been John Gruden because of the Gruden camp shit with Jackson Dart and him telling him like, "Yo, bro, you're gonna get yourself killed out there." Those are resurfacing now too. I would like a Joe Brady. I think he's kind of one of those guys next in line. Give me someone from like the McVay tree. Who's the offensive coordinator for the Rams? Give me one of those guys.
Yeah.
Give me Kevin O'Connell.
Coordinator.
Yeah, give me someone like that. I need an offensive mind, bro.
Okay.
I would like that.
Fair enough.
And also I'd like them to be like, hey, Jackson, when we're down 28-3, if we ever are, we don't need an RPO, bro. We don't need design runs. Let's fucking chill. All right.
Save yourself.
Yeah, save yourself.
Long career.
And bro, listen, man. We talked about the Jets last week with the draft picks, right? Hot take, I think both New York teams right now for moving forward, coveted jobs. Not because it's New York. Does it help? Yeah, it does. But like, Jets got all them fucking assets and they got some cap space. Giants are going to have cap space because they're not going to pay Jackson Dart until, 2029 is when he'll get the fucking $500 million, whatever the cap's going to be then. Now you're looking at it like, hey, man, all right. It's a good position to be in. Got a stud wide receiver that's going to be on a rookie contract. You got your boy Scatterboo coming back. Like, they're in a position now where you're saying to yourself, hey, man, both these New York teams, it's a prestigious job. So I think it was a great move by the organization. It validates my thoughts as a fan, because sometimes our vision could be skewed, that they see the same things that we're seeing, bro. He's the guy. That's my TED Talk. I've been saving that for the last 24 hours.
Okay. By the way, Sports Illustrated, they came out with an article this morning, of course, 15 potential head coaching possibilities.
Give me him, and I'll give you rapid fire reactions.
Okay. And this is in the order that they're listed.
Okay.
Which I found to be hilarious. Vance Joseph, defense coordinator, Broncos.
Nope.
Chris Shula, defense coordinator, Rams.
You said defensive?
Yeah.
Nope.
Brian Flores, defense coordinator, Vikings.
I kind of like Flores. I think Flores was wrongfully fired in Miami. Kind of a badass, bro. I think players play for him. So far, I'm interested. I'm having a meeting.
Okay. Marcus Freeman, we already said. Jeff Hafley, defense coordinator, Green Bay.
Defense, no. Shout out to Boston College, though.
Steve Spagnuolo, defense coordinator.
Nah. Yo, playoff Spags got me a Super Bowl undefeated. I love him. Defensive coordinator, fantastic. Head coach, nah, I'm cool, man.
Fun one to end it off here, Antonio Pierce.
Defensive coordinator, I love it.
Okay.
Not as a head coach.
Not as a head coach for the Giants?
Yeah, not as a head coach. Yeah, we getting the fans too. They disagree. Yeah.
Can't do it to him. Man.
Yeah, nah. I give me an offensive line. Joe Brady's not on there?
Joe Brady is not listed on here.
Terrible. I like me some Joe Brady, bro.
Mike Kafka, your current interim?
Nah, I'm cool.
Fun one, Mike Elko, Texas A&M head coach. They're undefeated right now. Bigger guy. I feel like the city might embrace him.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Not defensive-minded, but I do like Brian Flores.
I know that I said there was 15 names there, and I know I said that was the last one, but Bill Belichick.
I think he's out of touch, bro. And if his girl comes over there, too, like, too much of a headache, man. All we need is, like, Jackson Dart to steal the coach's chick, and then you have that whole fucking fiat. I'm cool. Stay at UNC. I'm all right.
Anything else from this Giants-Bears game? Bears
quietest 6-3 team in the league.
They're smashing the shit out of the
bad teams. Yeah.
And so you can't blame them. It's who's on their schedule right now. This is good for their offense. A lot of different people getting involved and feeling like they have significant roles. I like it. But there is a bit of me that is when they face adversity immediately in the playoffs, if they make it to the playoffs, they're going to get like boat raced. It'll be the Browns from a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? I picked them to win the North. They were my division winner. What I think is if you look at their schedule is really interesting because they play at Minnesota this week. Then they play home to the Steelers, at Philadelphia, at Green Bay. Based on that, if we just go on them beating up on bad teams, they're 2-2 over these next 4, right? Then they end the year with home Cleveland, home Green Bay, at the 49ers. Who the fuck knows what they're going to look like week 17. And then in Chicago against Detroit. Bro, they're 6-3. So is Detroit. We're recording at the time of the Monday Night Football game right now. They're playing the Eagles. Last we checked, I think Philly was up. So Green Bay might lose that game. They might move to 5-3-1. Chicago is the good bad team. They'll get to 10 wins and they'll be an underdog at home if they won the division.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Caleb, one drive, I watch him, I'm like, that's the number 1 pick. And then a couple drives later, I'll watch him, I'm like, that's the number 1 pick? I said the same thing. Context. We're talking about context before, right? Yeah, I don't know. How'd you feel about this? Shout out to Rome.
No, bro.
Rome came home for the boys.
Rome came home. It was fun to watch. I had called the live play in the Discord of I put the Bills and the Bears together in a money line parlay at the half, hoping that both of them would come back. And when I saw Russell Wilson out there, I knew it was cashing. I did not need to see anything else. I couldn't have watched the rest of the game, and I still would have known that I would have won that bet. That's all I have for this game. They look good.
Yeah, guess so.
I did wake up bright and early for the London game. or not the London game. They were playing in Munich, Germany. It is pretty weird to see the side by sides of like where Hitler was standing during the games that they had.
Yeah, the Olympics. They were talking about that. How crazy was that, right?
It is. It is nuts.
I was like, whoa, are we allowed to say all this?
It looked like a German day, too. It was gray and eerie, and it kind of smelled like beer.
Yeah.
Like through the TV.
Yeah, game was in Berlin, but close enough. Close enough. You said Munich.
It wasn't Munich?
No.
Munich, Germany? Munich is in Germany, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But yeah, it was in Berlin. I woke up bright and early, and shout out to Alec Pierce. Gave him out to score on the Discord. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor. He went crazy. No shout out to the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson, who, that was so devastating, man. That just like, talk about being vultured several times by Algier. Algier scores 2 touchdowns.
He just waits in the corner right next to the coach, just flexed up. He looks enormous, and he just knows. He knows. Bijan, do all the hard stuff. I'm going to get all the love. I'm for sure going to hit my incentives if I have any for touchdowns this year. You called it on the show, and when Bijan didn't score and Algier scored 2, and Jonathan Taylor goes off, it's officially over. And you could crown Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan.
At minimum, he's winning Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
That sealed it.
Well, here's the thing, right? Jonathan Taylor right now is minus 800 to win Offensive Player of the Year. He is on pace to break all the numbers that Saquon had last year. Bro, he's had 4 3-touchdown games. And if you look at their schedule, bro, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Over under 1.5 games that he has 3 touchdowns in the rest of the way. They play the Chiefs next week, so they're on a bye. Chiefs, home Texans, at Jaguars, at Seattle, home Niners, home Jaguars. I'm saying 1.5 more games that he scores 3 or more touchdowns.
He plays the Jaguars twice? Book it.
He plays the Jaguars twice, yes.
Book it.
He also plays the Texans twice.
Texans will stop him. That's a way better defensive team. Jaguars, book it.
Yeah. Yeah, he is on an absolutely insane run. His numbers are through the roof. Shout out to us a couple of weeks ago when they played the Chargers. We made the case. We waved the white flag on Offensive Player of the Year. Right. We saw it.
We did it like halfway though. Like we were still like Bijan could like go absolutely nuclear to close the year.
We were like when the head coach goes to throw the challenge flag, but they get word like don't do it. But like you see you're about to.
They said, do you see that camera angle?
Yeah.
Is his toe in? Throw it.
Yeah. We were like,
we're about to.
And then we put it back. But we showed that we were ready. Now we've both thrown both of them, and we basically burned the ticket, right?
Inshallah.
But yeah, but we did make the case for Taylor to be MVP. It was 60-1 at the time that we said. Everyone in the comments was like, "Yo, a running back can't win MVP. It's a quarterback award." All those people in the comments wear 3 condoms when they have intercourse. Yeah, he's outside of one game against Pittsburgh, which Daniel Jones just couldn't keep the ball. He's been the MVP start to finish. And on top of that, here's the caveat. You need to have a Daniel Jones at quarterback playing the way he's playing in order for you to be the MVP. Because if Stafford was on the Colts with the numbers that he has, say Taylor had the same numbers, but with Stafford, you'd be like, yo, bro, it's Stafford.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones isn't lighting it up that way. And the bell cow has been Jonathan Taylor. Bijan Robinson, super duper disappointing. I'm waiting. There's 2 players in the league, bro. I'm waiting for there not to be a backup for them. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Enough with the fucking Sonic and Knuckles, bro. I'm done. You saw Gibbs yesterday went crazy for 3 touchdowns. He had a monster game. Like, Bijan would be the same thing. If Algier, who's a free agent after this year, if he signs somewhere else, you know who we're running back next year for Offensive Player of the Year? Might do Bijan again. He's that talented. Like, even Jonathan Taylor was like, yo, bro, you're the one. Derrick Henry has said it. Saquon Barkley has said it. You know who doesn't know it? The fucking Falcons. And Taylor yesterday has the longest touchdown from scrimmage this year with 83 yards. He looks amazing, over 240 yards on the ground. Yeah, I think he has a legitimate case, man, to win MVP this year. I really do. And I'm happy that we said that a couple weeks ago.
Shout out to Drake London for making me look smart. He is a premier weapon for this Falcons team. That's the one thing they have figured out. They can't figure out 2 things at once. It's either Drake London's going crazy and Bijan's playing the, sideshow, or it's flip-flopped, vice versa. And Bijan, 17 carries, 84 yards. Drake London, 6 receptions, 104, and a tutter for the anytime touchdown parlay that was ruined by Taysom Hill, but we'll get to that later on. I would have hit our first anytime touchdown parlay this week. 2 for 3.
Oh, man. What a
2
bummer.
for 3. I'm playing conservative, and I'm still fucking missing.
Well, let's talk about that game, man. Saints-Panthers. I think we're on like a 5-week consecutive streak where we hype up a team on a Monday and then they proceed to lose. Bengals, Panthers, I laid out the case. Got some good feedback on that. They're like, yo, I'm in. I kind of like it. It was right there. Tampa Bay ends up losing.
Is this week going to be the Bears? We did kind of like gas up the Bears.
Nah, not really. Only because like not you, but I had picked them to win the division. So it wasn't like that outrageous.
Correct. This one's fresh though. You were all over the Panthers, and I knew this game was fishy. I put it as the toxic one. I didn't have the balls to put in Saints money line. However, Tyler Shook's made me a believer. He looked good on 3rd down, and that's all I can ask for as a fan of football, is that you are efficient as a motherfucker on 3rd down. It was like in the 3rd quarter, he was 6 for 9 for like 69 yards, that's exactly what I need.
Can I also give you more credit?
Yes.
Because I don't want to say too much about this game. Bryce Young, I've said it, I'm going to flip-flop on him more than any player in the league. You told me, bro, don't get goggles for the Panthers because they literally played a perfect game against the Packers. And you were right. The floor is yours. I have nothing else to say about this. I punted away $150 on Canales and them to win the division.
Yeah, and by the way, we don't have to spend too much time talking about this game. I'm going to segue it in perfectly because that call that I had on the Panthers for playing a perfect game, they're a one-dimensional team. And so I knew the Saints, if they had any semblance of a brain, are going to stop Rico Dowdle, try to slow him down. 18 carries for 53 yards. Sure, Rico Dowdle gets in the end zone again. Dude is going insane this year. Good on Rico Dowdle. But that's what the Panthers are. They're one-dimensional. And once that dimension gets stopped, and that dimension is also the run game, you look an awful lot like the Buffalo Bills. You look an awful lot like the Buffalo Bills, who have thrived in games in which they're able to get James Cook going. Look at the games in which James Cook doesn't get going, and you get exactly what the Bills showed against the Dolphins. How about that segue? The Bills have me more than worried. The panic button needs to be hit. You don't lose to the fucking Dolphins. You just don't do it.
Bro, we got these Bills futures coming off the high of beating the Chiefs and dominating them. Defense came alive, played well. Worst game, passer rating, and under 50% from Mahomes. And then you play a team who, bro, what about this? Dolphins get their shit punched in by the Bears. Then they smoke the Falcons. Kirk Cousins terrorist alert. Then they get smoked by the Ravens. And then they completely shred the Bills. Does this mean they're going to get smoked this week, whoever they play, or their next game? I don't know if they're on a bye week. Oh, they play in Madrid this week. They play the Commanders. Are they going to get smoked there? This has been the trend. Like, it makes no sense. For Buffalo, really frustrating because a lot of mistakes. Your two best players fumbled, James Cook and then Josh Allen. Right when it looked like they were going to have some life off a turnover, he fumbles at midfield. I'll tell you this much, bro. If you're any team playing Buffalo, you take away James Cook, you're done. You're done.
What am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be worried about Keon Coleman?
Yeah, he scored a touchdown, but like, no.
No, bro. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, there's a reason they don't go to his ass more. There is a reason. And it's because they don't have the confidence. And I don't know if it's a mix between not having the confidence or are we witnessing a team, and this could be good for us, Nick. I'm going to spin zone, hitting the panic button here. They're just getting ready for the playoffs. The regular season doesn't matter. They only get up for big games. This is not the Bills team of last year that was trying to prove to the world we're on a fucking mission to win the Super Bowl. And they were the regular season champs. And then obviously, they go down again in the playoffs. I think this year is a different brand and characteristic where they literally took this week off. Is Haley not putting out at home for Joshy? He goes down to Miami. That was another thing I was thinking of. Did Josh have a little too much fun down there with the 8th Street Latinas?
It's very tempting down there, man. It's very
tempting. A year. Hey, it's been a year. It was a fresh relationship. They kind of rushed into things, Nick. They kind of rushed into things. He goes down to Miami.
Don't all celebrities do that, though? Oh, they're dating. And then it's like,
what else do all celebrities do?
They cheat.
They go down to Miami.
Yeah.
They go down to Miami and they have some fun before they're about to go and wax the Dolphins. And hey, it was a trap.
Bro, I don't think they're in any position to be like, let's just worry about the playoffs. Because
2 games back now on the Pats.
They're 2 games back on the Pats. They're also, if you look at like playoff positioning, they're by no means a lock to be in the playoffs. Like, they're not there's no team in the league outside of the Eagles because of that division that they should be like, oh yeah, we're going to be fine. Bro, they're 6-3. They're a game up on the Chiefs and the Jaguars. They're 2 games back in the division. They're a game behind the Chargers, who are at 7-3. They currently have the 5 seed. But like, Baltimore is creeping. Baltimore's minus 250 to win the division. They were 1-5. Like, they're coming along, right? Yeah. Buffalo's in no position to be like, yo, let's just lock in for the playoffs, because they got Tampa at home. They go to Houston on Thursday Night Football. Then they play at Pittsburgh. They play the Bengals, who, guess who returned to practice today?
Joey
B. Then they play at New England. They play at Cleveland, who we've said Cleveland at home, their defense especially, juggernaut. Then they play the Eagles, and then they play at the Jets, right? They're in no position to be like, yeah, well, we'll pick it up in the playoffs. I hope that was the case, but I don't like the inconsistency of teams. Like, yo, playing down. You know who I do like? Seattle. Shout out to Pam Maldonado. She was like, yo, the Seahawks are going to be legit. I didn't see it. But you know what Seattle is doing, bro? They're fucking whooping people. That's their 3rd game this year that they had a 28-0 lead in.
Jesus.
When you're playing shit teams, that's what you need to do for me to be like, I don't care that you're playing shit teams. If you're like winning by a field goal against a team that you're a 12-point favorite against, no. But if you're Seattle and it's 34-0 in the second quarter against Arizona, I'm like, yo, bro, this is what it got to look like. Smack around the Commanders. Smack around the Saints. That's what it's supposed to look like when you play shit teams. Buffalo is in no position to be doing that. They're not that kind of team. I'm really worried that they're a team that I think you might be right. Yo, Chiefs are coming in. Bet. let's turn up. We're playing Tampa Bay this week, big game. Let's turn up. But they can't afford to because New England is on a 7-game winning streak. They're 2 games up on the division. Hell, they're 2.5 games up because they have the tiebreaker over them. I can't agree with you on that. I'm very concerned with our Bills' future.
Yeah. I was just trying to spin. Maybe this is just a turning of a new leaf. The Seahawks are the Bills of last year. You could be the regular season champs all you want. Win the games when they matter and when they go down in the history books. Yeah. But anyways, Devon Achane went nuts. Forced 11 missed tackles, his most in a game in his career. Gained 100 yards after forcing a missed tackle of his 225 yards from scrimmage. One player, that is the one player that I cannot wait to see play
on a better team?
On any other team.
Bro, yeah.
On any other team. He is going to be a fantasy point getter. I'll be top 10 for sure every week and points per game. But I don't really have anything else for that Dolphins-Bills game. It was disappointing.
Nah, I don't have nothing else on that, man. Yeah, really, really bad loss there for them. You want to move over to Baltimore?
Let's go.
So, how you feel about J.J. McCarthy?
Good game manager, but when you're comparing him to Jackson Dart, it's a no-brainer. And to me, they're relatively a similar style of quarterback that thrives off a little bit of RPO action, can move around the pocket, looks good on rollouts. I just think that the Vikings fucked up, and he is reminded of it all the time, seeing the success of Sam Darnold, seeing the success of Daniel Jones, and realizing I'm the issue now. There's nobody else that can fix this problem aside from me, and I might be too much for him to take. You got to think his last quarterback coach in which he had great success was Harbaugh in Michigan, and we see how he treats Justin Herbert. He doesn't have that same type of love with KOC. I know that there's a little bit of contention between the two of them because KOC, he expects greatness. When you have the wide receiver room that they have, and you have the Jalen Nailors of the world, the Jordan Addisons, let alone Justin Jefferson, but you have an embarrassment of riches. You better be using them. This Vikings team is puzzling because they went crazy last week against the Lions, and then you come in here and it's really just a lackluster offensive game. You had opportunities and they just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, bro, I'm with you on that, man. They went 3 of 14 on third downs, 2 for 5 on fourth downs. McCarthy threw 2 interceptions, both of them to Justin Jefferson. He caught 4 of the 12 targets that were thrown his way. You know, you could still tell that he's injured. So I do give him credit because I was wondering, like, how long has this ankle thing been? Like, are we shutting him down? Is he coming back? So I don't know if he got pressured to come back, to your point, because of what's happening with Sam Darnold. I think that the Ravens defense made some big adjustments. They did it last year around this time where they moved Kyle Hamilton to like roam around the line of scrimmage as opposed to playing like actual free safety. Starks got his first interception. I know you were high on him coming out there, first round pick. And I think with the Ravens, they didn't really look too good. Derrick Henry was okay, but not like it was a good matchup for him to really get going and have like a vintage Derrick Henry, which I still think he has one in the bag. Lamar Jackson, the team is just way better, obviously, with him in the lineup. And I think the morale, when you do have a guy like him in your lineup, it just shows. And the defense played better too. You know, Minnesota, I just don't I don't see it. I think they're gonna continue to regress. They play, like I said, they play Chicago this week. It's gonna be an interesting game, to say the least, because I think it's very telling for both teams. That's pretty much it, man. I think the Ravens are going to continue to And I'm going to do that. Listen, every week we're parlaying the Ravens with whoever the Giants play. And we're rolling it over. So I won $75 because I started it with 50. I won $75 this week. I'm doing 75 to win 50 again this week because it's the Packers and the Ravens money line. It's like minus 200. And we'll just continue to build it because I don't think both of those teams lose or win the rest of the way.
December 7th, the Ravens play at home against the Steelers. Circle your calendars. That game will determine whether or not I hit my 8-leg divisional bet because I'm confident in the Lions, but I need the Steelers, and I also need the Rams to win this upcoming weekend. But this game is the latest one in the schedule. I'm hoping everything goes good for me.